Welcome to Tech Bites and News, your personal generative AI podcast. So we're diving into a fascinating article today. AI founders will learn the bitter lesson, which basically argues that the history of AI keeps repeating itself, and many current AI founders are making the same old mistakes. It's all about general versus specific approaches, you know?
Oh yeah? I'm all ears. Is it like the whole build it and they will come thing, but with AI models? Because I've seen a lot of that.
Sort of. But instead of building a product and hoping people use it, it's about building an AI application with highly specific, tightly controlled workflows versus a more general approach. The article claims that historically, the general purpose approach always wins in the long run.
Okay, so like a super specific AI for, say, analyzing financial statements versus a more general one that can handle any kind of text analysis? The specific one is easier to build, right, initially.
Exactly. The author argues that building those super specific solutions is like the AI equivalent of feature engineering, which, as we know, is often outperformed by more general, end-to-end approaches. He uses the analogy of building a self-driving car, either by meticulously programming every aspect or by letting a neural network figure it out.
I see. So the bitter lesson is that while that specific, handcrafted approach might seem better and safer in the short term, it ultimately limits potential and gets surpassed by the more flexible, general method once compute power increases?
Yeah, pretty much. The author even brings up Richard Sutton's famous bitter lesson essay from 2019, which makes a similar point about AI research. It's like, you might get a quick win by building in all this human expertise, but eventually, brute computational force will just blow it away.
Interesting. So what's the takeaway for AI founders? Should they just forget about specific applications?
Not necessarily. The article suggests that the current landscape is dominated by these vertical workflow solutions, very specific and constrained, because current models aren't reliable enough for anything more ambitious. But the warning is that the next big model release might make all that effort obsolete. It's a race against time, really.
So basically, they're betting against the inevitable. They're investing heavily in solutions that might become irrelevant fast.
Precisely. The author even mentions OpenAI's On-One model as an example. Many founders were focused on prompt engineering, but On reduced the importance of that there. They're essentially building software to compensate for the limitations of current models. And that's a losing battle, especially given how fast things are advancing.
That's a pretty bleak outlook, huh? But what about market adoption? Doesn't that play a role? Even if a general-purpose solution is superior technically, it might not be adopted as quickly.
You're right, that's a crucial point, and the article actually acknowledges it. They'll cover that in later parts. But the core message here is that focusing solely on short-term gains through specific solutions might be a risky strategy in the long run. The author emphasizes the need for founders to be excited about, not scared of, model improvements. It's a shift in mindset.
It's a bold claim, but it makes sense when you think about the history of AI. It sounds like a good reminder to think long-term and focus on scalability and adaptability.
Exactly. And that's why this article is so important. It's a timely warning and food for thought for anyone building in the AI space. Thanks for joining us on Tech Bites and News, Daily. We hope you enjoyed this discussion. Goodbye.
Bye-bye.